Okay, breaking news. Billy Mitchell's King of Kong score has been proven to be false. He presented in the King of Kong, there was a videotape, if you remember, that was kind of sketchy, and they were like, this is really sketchy, but there was no proof that this was a false score. Now there's irrefutable proof as far as Billy Mitchell. It has been proven that he played on MAME. He didn't play on arcade. That score you saw on the King of Kong was a MAME score. And the reason why is just presented just like an hour ago was this irrefutable evidence where frame by frame the arcade boots up a board. Let's say it's the rivet board or the barrel board, whatever. And it doesn't automatically pop out like you would think. There's a tenth of a second where it slowly builds up, frame by frame by frame. And what has now been found is that Billy Mitchell's King of Kong score was booting up like an old version of MAME. And it boots up exactly like an old version of MAME. It doesn't boot up like some version, like an arcade game version. It boots up like a MAME game. And someone in Twin Galaxies went frame by frame by frame and posted on the dispute thread of Billy Mitchell how frame by frame by frame his score, his game, was played on a MAME game. And you're saying, why would... MAME arcade, MAME means multiple arcade machine emulator. What that means is his MAME game is a computer game. It was played on the computer or played on a 60-in-1 arcade cabinet. It was not played on an actual original hardware. It was played on MAME. You're like... And the thing is, they separate MAME games. Arcade scores and MAME scores are not the same, and they separate them. I have, for instance, a higher score than Billy Mitchell in the Donkey Kong Jr. game, but that's a MAME score. And when it comes to that, no, they separate them. And so he gets more credit for a higher score than me on the arcade score. But believe it or not, there's also questions about the Donkey Kong Jr. score as well, which we'll eventually get to, which seems to be suspicious as well. Seems to be also a boot up on MAME. So right now, huge news. Billy Mitchell pretended that a MAME score was an arcade score. This is like... They've had like little mini pieces of evidence that, hey, this guy is all shady as get out, but they've never had MAME. They've never had like the smoking gun. This is the smoking gun. And it's not just the King of Kong score. He also had other records where Steve Weeby beat him, and then he beats him back by just like 1,300 points or whatever. And they have videotape of that as well. Those games are also been proven to be MAME games. I'll give you the link at the Twin Galaxies thread. This is huge news. In about a few hours, this will be nationwide news. This will be... It's amazing. This is crazy amazing that this much that's it's been proven after all these years. He's been saying that he's been this King Donkey Kong player for 14 years since he submitted these MAME games. 14 years. He's gone on hundreds of interviews saying how great of a player he is, and how just 14 years he has perpetuated this basic lie. And I know people are like, well, yeah, we know he's shady, but no, this is different. No, this is actual irrefutable proof. Frame by frame by frame, when the boards boot up, they mimic and resemble exactly like a MAME game, not an arcade game. This is huge news. Wow. Okay, that's it. Bye.